So we had accumulation to accumulation right here, right? So when you start connecting these, you will see other trends, but that goes back to late entry again. So we looked at this yesterday with like what is the correct trend to buy, right? Where is the correct trend to buy? So if you're going based on accumulation candles, you would have seen the accumulation happen here, and you would have seen the swing up to the level here, right? This would have been late entry, which is kind of always the same thing. Accumulation to accumulation right here, right? And this we'll get into a little bit more today as the hard closing of a candle, what it looks like. But yeah, in this case, you would have had entry down here at 190 sats. If you move the tier, I'm only assuming that it would be possibly higher at 200 sats. So you actually moved up 10% almost, no, 5%. So yeah, actually you moved up 5% if you adapted to this trend. So it's not that the trend's not correct, it's that it's late entry. It's showing it. And this is also part of it too, because the more trends that are breaking, as people are fraying this thing out like this, oh, look, trend broke there, we're about to move. You know, and then these people are getting entry at 215, right? So you have to realize that there's trends all over the chart, right? So with every single trend, like look, you have one here, you have one there, you have one right here to this. Every single time you break a trend, there are more eyes on the chart because not everybody sees the right trend. People will draw trends all over the chart. Like, you know, maybe think of it like this. This white line here, maybe 25% of people in this trade saw that trend. Maybe 10% of people saw this for the second middle purple trend. Maybe 5% of people saw this trend. But the point being is that the more trends that are breaking, the more people that are getting into the move, which means there's more accumulation happening, which means there's more people trying to hold through the break of a large swing move up, and until finally you get out to here where you have this trend break. And then, you know, all these people who were in this trend break, the smart ones who were first entering here and saw this inverse level tested, sold that inverse level to repick up whatever backside trend or whatever it was showing you here. So you would have had like the backside trend, like right here, accumulation, distribution to distribution candle, and you would have been able to buy the backside of that dump, you know, on whichever day you decided was the right day to buy it. But it would have showed you the support on the move, and then you buy that through the final trend break. So then you have this situation where you create kind of this extreme, not magnetism because that would be wrong, this extreme contrasting of a move where you have people who have entered the move and the successful people buying the correct trend. And let's zoom in here a bit because this is getting a little small here. You have people who are buying the correct trend, oops, have had the ability to buy the correct trend and sell the inverse level, which is this line right here. Let's actually make that a proper level so it's not confusing. Here, inverse level right there. So you had people who bought this and took that trade, right, and sold that inverse level as they should have, and made 20%, which is perfect. This is absolutely perfect, and that's fine. You have those people. Then you have these people who made a little less, like 18%, 19, 18, 17. I don't actually, you know what, let's just do the right math here. Let's just go. Okay, so we'll just go in the middle of the candles between the trend break, and those people made 16%. So they got 4% less, right? And if they sold the inverse level, that's great. And then you had these people who actually got liquidated on the position here, who at a maximum could only make 5% because they bought that trend. And then those people, all these people shorted into those guys. All these people shorted into them as well. So these people got liquidated, and as they get liquidated, they start dumping too because they're like, oh, we're down 5%. This thing is dumping. We're moving down. So then actually, the people who were buying the right trend actually made 20% adversely to the people who were buying the incorrect trend, made 5% only at a maximum, and then potentially lost upwards of, I don't know what the bottom of this is, but we could just say they could have potentially lost 20%. I don't think too many people will. There would have been some people selling 30%. You know, there would have been some people being like, oh, I'm going to sell a few sats under this because then it's just going to dump, which would be so incorrect for other reasons. It's not even funny, but this is very common. People buy trend and they're like, oh, it's dumping past the all-time low. Let's dump. This is such wrong thinking. It's not even funny. Another conversation for another workshop. Actually, that's for the blueprint, but that's okay. This is incorrect. And then all these people who made 20% in here and 16% in here now saw the backside of trend, re-injected trend into another trend, and then the move goes up and it flies. So there's like this big, there's a lot of action happening in this small space. There's a lot of different types of shorts and different types of longs for right and wrong reasons. So within this move, there is more than meets the eye is the best way to put it, right? And to fully understand, grasp the um, all parts of this move is quite a deep conversation. But you could see why it happens. You can see exactly why people get liquidated in a position like this because they drew the incorrect trend, and you can see exactly why drawing the correct trend led to a 20% move up, and you can see exactly why you know failure point, or even I don't think it's here. That's way too sharp. It would never be that. It would be this swing low to this swing low here. Okay, magnet tool. Let's try to do this together. You could see where that supports the move, and then the leg of the move comes and you have trend support, and it kind of gets into this moment before a large move up. And you can see exactly why the large move up happens too. Large move up doesn't happen because 90%. It's partially thanks to these guys on this white trend here, because they just probably shot volume up through the roof in this wedge, and the wedge fails, right? And then the backside of the trend succeeds the move to boost it up. But really, the victors were the people who first and foremost caught the level back here in the past. The hold level, the proper hold level, would be the first victors, and they could have sold the inverse trend the first time it hit, because it hits the hold level from the past and goes through it. Let's see if we can actually. So there's actually nothing there other than probably the backside of another trend over here. So they bought the proper backside of the trend. At first it would have been this. It's not going to be that now. Then it would have been this swing to either this swing right there. That would have been the first start of it, and then it would have been this swing right here to that swing right there. So then those people who actually could identify the proper buy zone, you can see the backside of trend is just supported like 100% of the time here. Backside, 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 small backside, and it pulls back up. So somebody just wanted to hold that there, which is fine. This is very common. It happened here somewhere. Somebody just holds the price, and a large account buyer, it happens there too. So this is like victor number one right here, is the people who bought that backside and pushed up to this. Victor number two is the first trend break, who then were able to sell this again right there. Victor number three also had that same opportunity, but then these guys are fueling the move in the future. All they're doing is buying other people's distribution to reaccumulate here. And then all these people who bought here actually sold in here somewhere before the big move up. And then all the people who were number 1, 2, and 3 just took the bigger piece out of number 4. So like there's a lot of I guess chart politics that are happening here. Best way to put it, I don't know. It's just what I would call it. Like a lot of charting politics that are happening in this scheme. But like it's not. It's very easy to see if you can, if you can explain it. It's actually quite easy to see, and it's very obvious in one way. It's extremely obvious in one way, as to where people are just like, the very basic part of this move where people are seeing this, then they're like, oh, let's draw this maybe orange. People see the uptrend and they're like, oh, we're about to break, we're wedging up. And it's like, wow, you better be careful on that wedge, because you're also buying at the very top before failure is imminent to happen. So, these lovely wedges that we like, where we pinch into this moment to break over the level, they onset failure sometimes like this, just because they do. You can see the politics on the chart. You can see exactly why people are buying where they are, why this coin dumps. Like with this chart, you can sit here and explain the exact reason why everything is happening. Like you have painted the story from this point here to this point here, A to Z, without any doubt in anybody's mind or any questions. Like there is no, oh, why did this happen? Like it can be explained on the chart. Everything on charts can be shown. All madness on charts is as frustrating as it can be sometimes. When you see things to a certain light, everything can be explained, and it's very obvious why. And when you start drawing the backsides of these trends to see where buy zones are, and you start seeing where liquidations can happen, like it becomes very obvious. It becomes very obvious that in this moment, right here, even go back a little bit further, right to here, and people are trying to wedge this move up, and it keeps hitting the inverse level, and it's never back tested the valley one time. Like this is showing you failure. Like, this is not rocket science. This is showing you you're wedging against an inverse level. This is telling you, like, I am failing the move. You have not back tested this break level. You have been sitting here holding a distribution level. So you are screaming failure at this point. And if anybody would disagree, so far with knowing how important inverse levels are, these hold levels are, it would be like, hey, you need to go and chart hold levels again, because hold levels are telling you that the move is holding down, and you're wedging up into a hold level. What is that telling you? It's very like, if 1 + 1 = 2, that's what we have here. We have a wedge in a move which is forcing up or down, and you can't go up because you're at an inverse level. Like this is telling you it's failure. Like there's no, and then this candle here, as soon as it bounces, if this is the final, yeah, as soon as it bounces there, that's showing you this is the buy zone off of that failure, which is then going to create the larger part of the move wherever this goes, right? Wherever that goes, it's going to create the larger support.
Hey everyone, how's it going? As you know, I'm now giving out some of this content for free that I was otherwise charging for the past little while. Yeah, drop a donation, subscribe to the channel, join Patreon. You'll get access to Discord. Great way. Lots of top level traders in there, people who are doing this for a career every single day. So go to Patreon, join a tier, get access to Discord. Go on Reddit, talk about future of trading, talk about the science of trading, talk about cotton candy, socials, everything you can. Let's help this thing grow. It's the way you guys can thank me for giving out this content for free that I was otherwise charging money for. So I'll leave a Bitcoin address on the screen. I'll leave the Patreon address on the screen. Just do something to help out. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.